Welcome to the Believe Podcast Network SoCal Sweat. My name is Ann McDaniels, a former NFL cheerleader and product manager turned actress and model who dreams of being a UFC fighter. Meow. Learning strategies to help motivate others leads me to bring you interviews each week from a range of athletes, experts in fitness and nutrition, and so much more. Thanks for listening to Believe, the #1 podcast for working professionals, and let's push our endorphins to higher performance through SoCal Sweat. This is your host, Ann McDaniels, and thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Believe SoCal Sweat. As you can tell, as we are all over the nation, we haven't even begun Thanksgiving, yet we see Christmas trees and Christmas lights, and, well, Starbucks, that's fine. If you put up those holiday drinks, you can have them all year, as far as I'm concerned. But already we are thrown into Christmas and the holidays and spending. And for those of you that have kids or a lot of people to buy for, it can be very daunting, especially coming out of the pandemic. People have lost their jobs, people are strapped for income, and we see advertising everywhere. And according to the National Retail Federation, holiday spending has the potential to shatter all previous records. And they forecast that holiday sales during November and December will grow between 8.5% and 10.5% from over 2020, between $843.4 billion and $859 billion. That's astounding. And we're also looking at supply chain issues, and things are certainly not coming in from other areas. And being in California, Southern California, we are close to the fact that all those ships are waiting, bringing in toys, everything like that. But, you know, look at what is really a true meaning for the holidays and gift the kids or your loved ones things that are more from the heart or more experiential. Sometimes people remember memories more than they do about gifts. But it is daunting, and you're traveling and even buying all the food, and look at how food is up by 13% for inflation, let alone restaurants and everything like that. And then we're also going to be hitting meatflation, so buy those really good meats and freeze them now because we are going to lose them soon. So in this episode of SoCal Sweat, I really wanted to highlight a bunch of side hustle ideas to make more money during the holidays. And specifically, there are so many ideas that you can do all year long, particularly during the pandemic. So many people came up with wonderful creative ideas. But for the holiday season, there are extra things you can do that you may have not thought about. And I don't mean to insult anyone's intelligence if you've already been doing these things or have done these things or are currently doing it and you're a millionaire. And you're like, yeah, Ann, you're not teaching me anything. But hopefully this can give you some ideas just to add some extra cash in your pockets for less stress. The first idea is one of my favorites, and I live in Southern California, but there are places all over the country that need shoveling, that need raking. It is a monstrosity of weather, as we know, and there are things that people just don't ever realize that people need help with, particularly if they are older or if they're young and they're not able to do so. As far as raking leaves, this can be a tremendous workout on top of earning you extra cash. Besides raking the leaves in the yard, you can offer yourself to help clean the gutters, clean the drain pipes, and also get the leaves off of the roof because that can be very daunting and heavy for a house. Besides leaves, shoveling snow, that is another huge workout. It can earn you extra side cash. Besides the shoveling, especially, it's so helpful for people that are older. Clearing that ice, because as we know, if it comes down and it rains and then it snows really hard on top of that, there is a thick black ice underneath that and someone could really get hurt. So offering that, and also just offering the fact that if your services aren't used, it could potentially be dangerous for somebody. And you could not only do the driveways, but the steps, people's decks. The decks can be really awful because, you know, that snow can just sit on there and get through all the cracks and also cause damage to the wood. So that would be really a great thing for you to do as well. Besides the fact that if you are in a neighborhood and they plow, people do not realize when the plow comes through, yes, that's fantastic for the roads. However, you can be blocked into your driveway. And if you ignore that, or if you're on vacation or on a business trip, all of that is at the end of your driveway, as you know, and it can turn into solid ice, and you can take like hours just to chip that away. I remember when I went home for Christmas one time and my mom was at the gym, I was like, we always compete who's gonna shovel. Yeah, we're a little odd. So I was so glad she was at the gym so that I could shovel the driveway. And it took me, I think, an hour and 45 minutes to chip all the ice and clear it away from the bottom of the driveway because it was also on a decline. And the plow came in and just like put it up like a 5 feet embankment. And then it's really fun to just like throw someone in there. That's fantastic. And you can really ball those snowballs up and make them really firm and really hurt somebody if you really want to with the snowballs. So anyway, a side hustle would be yard work, major yard work, especially for the holidays. And that would be a lot of exercise as well. And bending down, using muscles, and just get you outdoors, which is always refreshing, and kind of getting in the cold air, which is really good for the body. Besides that, people cannot stand decorating their house if they're not into it. And we've all been there where you're decorating the outside of the house and there is one bulb that does not work. So you are trying to figure out where the bulb is, and then you have to go back to Home Depot or Lowe's or, Menards, wherever you're going, and getting new sets of Christmas lights or Hanukkah lights or whatever kind of holiday lights they use. So offer yourself as that. Or you may be an amazing decorator for not only the outside of homes, but for the inside of homes. I have a friend in Orange County. She pays a mint every time she has her holiday parties. She brings people in and pays them thousands and thousands of dollars to decorate. I mean, so hit the people with high budgets and hit corporations. Maybe they need, or even small startup companies are having holiday parties. The sky's the limit. Use your physicality and or use your creativity to great measures, and you can get paid a lot of money doing this because these are skills that other people may have or may not have or just simply do not want to do or do not have time to do. So keep that in mind if you are savvy in that way. In addition, another great workout is stacking and chopping wood. I used to be a logger with my father during a summer job when I was in college. I absolutely loved it. And yes, I worked a chainsaw and I helped him and we worked in the woods and we stacked wood and it was amazing. I was in the best shape of my life. And it was also difficult because we were going through the woods with a lot of brush on the ground. So here I am with a chainsaw, doing like high stepping it, but it was like tremendous workouts. I've never slept so well in my life. But if you're into like chopping wood and stacking wood, again, a wonderful workout, and you're helping people out, especially with those with fireplaces. Another one is so many people are traveling during the holidays or are just never home and have a lot of things to do. Maybe they're holiday shopping all day, Saturday and Sunday, and they're gone. And they have pets. If you love pets, if you like to take care of them, maybe you don't have one, but you need your fix to walk dogs. I do have a friend and she's not allowed to have a dog in her apartment. So she actually volunteers and she also hires herself out as a dog walker. You can make great money doing this. And if you get really good, I have a friend that walks like 6 at the same time. I always ask, how do these dogs all get along? But you train them and they work really well with you. So if you have a great schedule and a lot of people, get on the Rover app and hire yourself out as a dog walker or a dog sitter. People love their animals and they will pay so much money to make sure that they're properly taken care of. I remember I had a neighbor one time and I was helping her. I'm not really into cats, but I was helping her cat sit. And she was paying me like $100 a day at one point. Because she appreciated it so much and I was happy to do it at that rate. I wasn't like sitting there, in bed with the cats or anything like that. I just kind of went in and went out. I made sure they were properly taken care of, but I made a lot of money just on the side. And I would have done it for free. I just wanted to help her out, but I was like, well, hey, that was nice. So yes, you can make a lot of money, and that's also a good workout and gets you outside and helps people out. Another side hustle is to rent out your space. There's obviously Airbnb, but try to be more creative. Maybe you live next to a stadium, a sports stadium. Maybe you live next to a concert venue. I live around all of these things. And if you have a home or a parking spot, this is prime real estate. People do not want to park far away. If you have a spot and then you can even take them there and bring them back, that is golden. People will pay for that convenience. So look at yourself and look at what maybe space you have. Maybe you have an extra two car spaces in your garage and someone can park in there versus a parking lot that could be, their car could be vandalized. And do you have a pool? There's a great app called Swimply where you can rent out your pool. It's SWIMPLY. You can rent it out for up to $100 an hour. You can really make a lot of money with that, particularly if there is a party. Just obviously make sure you've got proper insurance, making sure everything is clean and safe, of course. But you can make a real killing for kids' birthday parties, adult birthday parties, any type of event. And what if you have an indoor pool? That would be even better during the holidays. So really look at your real estate and see what you could rent out. Some people even use their sheds. They can rent out their sheds or garages, maybe their storm cellars, or even an area in their house. So think about all those extra things you can rent out besides Airbnb. And with people being gone and people needing to store things, people being transient, you could really make a lot of money. But again, that swim app is called Swimply, Swimply. Now, speaking of Airbnb, there is an Airbnb for your car. Maybe you have an extra car. Maybe your spouse is always gone and you have a different car. Or you just have one that's kind of like sitting around. And cars are very hard to get, or they're very expensive. Some people don't want to take rentals with certain things. You can rent out your car on the app called Turo, and that's Turo. Again, proper insurance, making sure it's safe and clean, and obviously trusting the people, but you can make a lot of money on your car, and that app is called Turo, Turo. And then, of course, speaking of driving, you can always drive for Uber or Lyft or any other ride-sharing program that you may have in your area. There are going to be so many airport pickups and drop-offs, people doing holiday shopping that do not want to park and walk and then bring their groceries back and their gifts back. So that might be a really good thing to do if you have extra time and you can just blitz the holiday season, because people are going to need rides and you can make a lot of money. There's going to be more demand and less drivers, so higher demand, less supply. And you can charge a premium for that because people are waiting longer, and you can blitz them with great customer service. And hey, you gotta pay to play. And if they want great customer service and a premium ride, then you can charge. And perhaps you love to shop and you love to drive. Well, you can certainly be an Instacart shopper, a Postmates shopper and deliverer. You can do all of these apps and make a ton of money. And again, people are paying for convenience. When I broke my leg and arm, I actually love going to the store and grocery shopping. I don't like shopping, but I love grocery shopping. I was using Instacart left and right, and I was so appreciative, and they would come up to my door and I would tip them highly because it was such a wonderful convenience for me. But once you get really good at it, you can make a lot of money. And look at all the supplies that are going to be needed for alcohol delivery and food delivery, for parties, last minute things. People will, they'll go through like 6 bottles of vodka. They need more vodka. And they'll put you in the app, and you can bring all the stuff from Bevmo or wherever it's coming from. So really get on the train as far as if you love to shop and if you love to deliver and pick up and delivery. And again, a lot of people are ordering online and they have pickup. You can do all of that and make a lot of cash on the side. And add that customer service, it's a premium, they will tip. And speaking of shopping, maybe you're really good at fashion and picking out gifts. You can be a personal shopper as a private person to a couple or a family that are just not good at giving gifts, or they just simply don't have time, but they have a lot of income. You can pick out great things for them. And there are a lot of movies based on this and a lot of gift-giving guides for that. But you would just meet with a client, learn what they love, and pick things out. And you can even offer yourself as a gift wrapper. That is another thing to do. I myself do not like to wrap gifts, but I love decorating them. So you can make a lot of money if you have a home business that you can gift wrap items. And people pay a lot of money for this because it's a lot based on aesthetics. But do realize that paper products are really hard to come by, and there's a lot of demand and less supply. So get on that. And also, use your creativity. There are great recycled things. I mean, I saw someone use a Trader Joe's paper bag and fold it down and then use a shredder for the other Trader Joe's paper bag, and they made the greatest package for a holiday gift. So there are so many things popping up left and right. People have kids' birthday parties and then holiday parties, and then there's an extra holiday party and a Hanukkah party and a bar mitzvah happening at once. These are all opportunities to package things up. Hire yourself out if you're creative. And remember previously, if you're good at wrapping gifts and making them beautiful, you may be making houses beautiful as well with the wreaths or the way that you feng shui the gorgeous holiday items within the households, big mansions. Not only hire yourself out as a decorator for the holiday season, but also offer to wrap those gifts. And if the family's really busy, offer to buy the gifts and pick them up. Just be creative and look at your bad self. Look at your skills. You could make a lot of money. And on to more talents and skills. We all have friends that have the epic holiday card, epic holiday letter, and it can be very braggy or very annoying. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's very entertaining and great. Sometimes it's written from the perspective of the dog or the cat or the parrot. I've gotten that one before. What if you're a good writer? Use your writing skills. Sit down with the mother or the father or whoever is taking care of the family and look at all the things that they've done this year and meet with them. And you can hire yourself out as a writer and or a proofreader. I have to share that I was watching the news the other day, and Craig Melvin on the NBC Today show, he and his wife are both reporters, and I guess they always have an epic Christmas card every year. And they had a gorgeous photo and a really gorgeous letter. However, when the card came back from the printers, it said the Melvins, and it was MELVIN''S. Well, it was a beautiful card, but they're reporters, and they cannot send a card out with Melvins with an apostrophe. That would just showcase not a lot of ethos if they're reporters and writers. So they got rid of the holiday card, and they said this year is going to be a better one. So really double check and triple check those holiday cards, but have a proofreader or have someone go look at the print before it's printed, because there's nothing worse than spending all that time and money. And as we know, time is money. And there would be no holiday card without the picture. Maybe you're a dynamic photographer. Offer yourself out to take the family photograph or a full holiday portfolio. People love the creativity. We are done with people on the beach in jeans and white shirts. Be creative. Pitch your awesome ideas to the corporation or the family that you're taking pictures for, and you could make a lot of money doing that. And speaking of your skills as a photographer, why not sell your photos to a stock website like SmugMug? You can make a lot of money on these things, particularly for the fact that people are bloggers and people are podcasters, have their own YouTube shows. And a lot of times these are licensed photos and we can buy them. I myself have done that for my own podcast. So hire yourself out, sell your photos, particularly things like the holidays make a lot of money. Things like food or fitness or automobiles. Specify something, but do realize that for the holidays, there are a lot of things you can take pictures of and make a lot of money doing that for licensing. Now, perhaps you work from home and you are a wonderful chef or baker. I have a friend that sells her cakes for $30, and if you were to buy them at the bakery or a high-end place, they would be in the hundreds. She makes them and she blitzes these amazing cakes and pastries, and she charges $30 a pop as far as the big ones, and then like 15 or 12 for the little ones. But these are great for corporate parties, for big corporate events, holiday events for families, get-togethers. And it's fun if you love it. It's kind of like soul food, if you will. And you're treating others and they're paying for it. And also, these are great for host gifts because sometimes people want to show up at a party and bring a quote-unquote homemade gift, but they have no time nor the skills to do it themselves, and they can hire you for the baking goods or the baked goods. Also, maybe you are really great with meal prep or just being some kind of a caterer or at home, that you don't have a full business, but a lot of times people want to do a lot of get-togethers, and you can just prep those meals and actually be in the kitchen while they're doing that and just assist them with the dinner parties. And another thing, speaking of fitness and health, a lot of times people are trying to stay on track with their fitness goals while they're indulging in the holiday parties, because you have to enjoy life. So maybe during breakfast and lunch, they want to have a really regimented meal plan. Well, if you're good at that and you're good at making large portions into smaller portions and doing that for the week, I love meal prepping, especially when I'm having any kind of competition or a shoot coming up. And I prepare that ahead of time. I actually kind of like to do that. And people have asked me to do that for them as well. I just don't have the time, but otherwise I would. And you can make money doing that by meal prepping for them. And also, speaking of fitness and health, you can be a personal trainer during the holidays for certain people that maybe want to look good for their New Year's Eve event or something like that. So think about all the skills that you have to do that. Now, many of us will be hosting parties or going to parties, and we will be seeing people's homes. A lot of times people want to clear out their homes because actually clutter can really actually keep your brain disorganized. And the more you take out clutter and the more you organize your home, the better. So why not take the time to organize your home and get rid of things that you don't want or need? Particularly if you think you're going to be bringing in gifts, you always want to bring in one and take out one. And you can not only donate them to charities and do that out of the kindness of your heart and get a receipt for a tax write-off, but if you have really high-end items, look at your stuff. You can sell it on Craigslist Marketplace. You can sell it on Poshmark, Etsy, all of these things. And people will pay a lot of money for them because sometimes someone's trash is someone else's treasure. I know that I have a lot of designer items in my closet that I've never worn, and I'm just too lazy to put them on Poshmark, and I don't want to take the time. But you can make a lot of money on these things and bid. So while you're decluttering, why not make some money? Also, getting rid of exercise equipment that you haven't used and getting rid of items and blankets that you have not used and bringing them to the Salvation Army and getting a receipt and or making money on Poshmark and Etsy. Look at your jewelry, your accessories, your unused shoes, your dinnerware, things like that. You have a lot of things in your house that go unused. And why not make money by getting rid of it and decluttering your home and your mind? But in all of our dwellings, everybody has a junk drawer or like a junk closet. And as an actress and model, a lot of times we shoot on location and people can rent out their homes for photo shoots. And it's always funny to me because it's like there are certain areas of the home that you just don't go in, or there'll be a big sign on a closet, do not open. And you know, behind that closet, it's like if the person had booked the shoot, you open that door and it's going to all come crashing out like an avalanche. So that always makes me laugh because we always have these junk drawers that you have to pry open with a knife. And I always try to clean out the junk drawer. I take little bits and pieces. Okay, if I go in the kitchen, the next time you go in that kitchen, you better clear out that drawer. And then I make myself, or I put up a sign because I hate clutter. I like it really Germanic looking with a lot of open space and easy to access items. I get stressed out when I have a lot of clutter. Now, maybe you love kids and love working with kids or working with adults as far as teaching or tutoring or being a nanny or babysitter. With the kids, hire yourself out on some of the nanny and babysitting websites. People are very busy during the holidays, and if someone's going shopping, maybe they don't want to cart their kids with them, and you can make a lot of money during the day by being a babysitter. Or a lot of kids need online tutoring. Sometimes people are going on vacation for extended periods of time, and they need tutoring online while they're on vacation. Maybe they're going to go overseas for a month, and the parents want the kids to keep learning French or German or really get tutored in math so they don't, fall back. You can do this online and make a lot of money doing that. Also, I want to remind you that there is a company called VIP Kids, and that's VIPkid.com. And you can make a lot of money by teaching online English to kids overseas. I have a friend that wakes up at 3 a.m. and he teaches kids in China for 8 hours. Now, there's a lot of things that you have to do and a lot of criteria. You have to have a bachelor's degree, you have to be really good at teaching, and you have to do a long training program. But it's really interesting, and you're really helping people. You're helping kids, and you can do this with adults as well. How about ESL? A lot of times people are traveling a lot and they want to learn this, but particularly if you go to VIPkid.com, you can do really well working with the kids, and they have a curriculum, but I've watched him do it and it's very fun, and he absolutely loves to do it. It's just weird hours, obviously, because they're on a different time zone and also different kinds of cultural values, so you would really have to pay attention to that and be great with kids, of course, and be great at teaching. But that's VIPkid.com. Now, I'd mentioned selling stuff and items, clothing, on Poshmark or Etsy or other clothing websites. But I want you to keep in mind that Etsy is not only for crafts. Maybe you're really great at crafts, some of us aren't, or you could be really good at Excel spreadsheets or lists, packing lists, budgeting Excel spreadsheets, budgeting lists. There are so many things that people would pay for. You can find them online, but they would pay for an Excel spreadsheet that would help them create the budget. So if you're good at these things, advertise yourself on Etsy, and you can sell your actual programs or worksheets and or your craft item. Maybe you and your family came up with an amazing Halloween costume for all of your kids. You can sell that and make money. People can use it for next year. Look at all of your things, especially for those of you that are parents. There are leftover baby items. Sell this all and you can make a lot of money that you didn't even realize that you had laying around. Perhaps some of you are excellent at decorating the Thanksgiving or holiday tables. You could put together a PowerPoint and show people exactly how to go through all of these things. There's an actual documentary that just came out on a competition where they have the best table setting. And it's hilarious and fascinating, but it also comes from the fact that this is a huge business. So if you're good at that, look at everything that you can do. You can sell these things and make money on Etsy, Pinterest, or wherever like again, Facebook Marketplace, but if it is packing lists and things like that, go to Etsy and sell it. Make some money. And speaking of skills, maybe you're a master editor, a photographer also. You can write things for people. You can do errands for people. You can be a personal assistant. You can do NFT chains and help people with podcasts and blogs and advertising. I don't know how to do Google ads. I've never paid for anything like that. A lot of people do, and people are very good at that. I get offers all the time to do that, and I will have to take someone up on that in the future, but I just don't really want to. I'm not that interested, and money's not my main issue. So, but if you are good at these things, I mean, look at all of your skills. Maybe it's voiceover work. Look at all the actors out there. Come on, actors. You can create voiceovers for messages, holiday messages for people. So many things. Maybe it's freelance writing or blogging, translation. Maybe you speak 4 languages and you can help people make money on the side. Video editing, graphic design, illustration. There are so many creative ways to do this. And again, it's a Fiverr, Fiverr, and Upwork, Upwork. There are several other, but these are the 2 main ones, and you can make a lot of extra side money. Not only nationally, but on an international level. Also, when you're buying these things for the holidays, buying the food, clothing, cloth settings, like table settings, anything that you're buying, you can download the 2 apps, Fetch and or Rakuten. There's also other sites as well, but you can upload every single receipt of which you spend money on, and all of this stuff goes towards points or cash back, restaurant stipends, you name it. Whatever retail store that you love, you can get a pair of free shoes the more you spend. Just download Fetch, that's Fetch, and Rakuten, Rakuten. Get money back. And also sign up for all the cash awards programs with your credit cards and everything like that. But always be sure to budget, no matter how much you hate it. And there's also a lot of holiday budgeting Excel spreadsheets and lists online if you were to look that up. But in the meantime, you'll be working side hustles and you won't have to worry. Hopefully, if you play your cards right. Also, consider your families and friends. Maybe you can do like a pink elephant gift as opposed to a large gift, or draw names. That's always very helpful. And there are so many homemade gifts you can make. And as far as the supply chain issues that we have, and in always supporting our local businesses more than ever, you can spend a little less money and also support people in your local areas. But for the most part, look up things on Pinterest or Etsy or anything that you can do creatively, like TikTok. TikTok has a monstrosity of really cool things to make homemade and give as gifts. I mean, even that old-fashioned, you can make a mason jar and put all the hot chocolate inside, or make like chocolate chip cookies and put all of the all the ingredients for chocolate chip cookies and put it in a jar and gift it to a teacher or something like that. There are just millions of things that don't require money, but instead it's experiential and also shows a lot of care and a lot of commitment, and the fact that you really cared about that person to make a homemade gift. Some of the homemade gifts, however, are like, no, I'd rather get a gift certificate, thank you very much. But also think and consider the fact that when you buy an expensive gift certificate, there are so many that go unused. I think it's like 60% of gift certificates go unused. Don't quote me on that, but I know myself, I have a whole drawer full from people that gave me gift certificates, and I'm always like, oh, I want to wait till a special occasion. Well, then you look, and the gift certificate is completely expired. And I'm like, well, that is my fault. So anyway, just consider these things to, be able to afford more things in the future and give back later when you've saved more money and have a bit of an easier budget. And in the true spirit of the holiday season and all year round, this is something that I do all year round, is just always giving back to charities, always paying it forward. A lot of us are very privileged and have amazing things in life. I mean, even just the simple things like food, shelter, clothing, a warm bed, a warm house, heat. And just living in LA, there are just so many homeless, and I see it every single day in your face. I give so many times a week as far as extra food or anything I can do. And sometimes when there's like socks on sale at a store, I'll pick up a couple more and I'll pick up a blanket. Because I mean, even at these like dollar stores, there are blankets for like $2. I mean, I picked up a bunch the other day and delivered them to a homeless camp that's near one of my gyms. And I just like, again, think about the holiday season and all year in general, just paying it forward, giving back. You'll feel better, and it's all about the spirit of giving. And if nothing else, it does wonders for your mental health. Even more so, as a family, you can actually adopt a family in need And that would showcase to your kids the importance of giving back. And it would make them feel good as well. And you could actually make it an annual tradition each year. Now, I wanted to mention a few more things. Maybe you're amazing at fashion and you're great at putting clothes together. So many women and so many men cannot, maybe they'll buy expensive clothes, but they have no way of being able to pair it. And you could actually, I love shopping on a budget and then maybe pairing something expensive with it. And I consider myself to be pretty good at fashion and pairing things together. Some people cannot even do that. They have to buy everything off a mannequin. Well, you can actually work and consult on Stella and Dot, and you can help people with that and also go and pick it up for them or pick up the deliveries, and that is a whole thing that they would not have to do, and they would pay for it. Also, with all these holidays, the cleanup, the wrapping paper, the Thanksgiving especially, the kitchens, offer yourself as a house cleaner if people hate doing it. I hate cleaning the house, although I must say, now that my leg's getting better and I actually like to go back to it, but when my leg was broken and my arm was broken, it was very difficult. But I made myself do it because it was more of a workout. But I should have hired, and I will hire again, and I will hire in the future. But that's another way to make money. Also, you can take surveys online. There are many things in the marketing world, where maybe they're testing a new mascara. Maybe they are testing a home use product like a vacuum cleaner. You can be on these test trials and actually use them and evaluate for the better of the product and the service. So a couple of those websites would be User Testing, Try My UI, Validately, User Feel, and Userlytics. And you can look all of these up, and there are so many more. It's websites and apps, and you can offer your opinion and or try out products. And for the most part, you can either keep the products or you can flip them. Yet another idea for extra money, and this is a fun one, and can merit you lots of rewards, free items, free dinners, and this is to be a mystery shopper. This is very important for a lot of businesses, especially with the fact that after the pandemic, there's a lot of competition as far as the restaurants that have stayed afloat or the retail stores that have stayed afloat, and also the competition with Amazon and the big chains where we can just order. So they want to have their best customer service and things like that, but you do have to be kind. You can't evaluate people in the worst way. In fact, I know that I do have a friend that used to work at California Pizza Kitchen, and she was an incredible server. However, she had gotten a mystery shopper, and California Pizza Kitchen is very strict as far as the amount of time. Like if somebody orders a drink, there has to be a very small time limit from when they order to when they get the drink, or even when they're sat to when they're greeted and when someone comes to their table. And she was slammed, and a server had called in sick, so she had like double the tables, and she usually had. And although she was a wonderful person all the time, a mystery shopper marked her down, and she was fired on the spot. I'm not saying that California Pizza Kitchen is a bad place, but they're very strict and they take it very seriously. But there are jobs where you can be a mystery shopper, and I've done this plenty of times, and the guys that I've dated have loved it because it's like, oh, you're such a cheap date. We would go to fabulous places, and the better the job you do, you get paid to go to higher places, and it can be like $100 stipend for the dinner, and then you get paid on top of it, or sometimes it's just a trade-off. But a couple of the ones to try would be Market Force, Best Mark, and IntelliShop. And IntelliShop is INTELLI /SHOP. So these are really fun, and there's a lot of online websites as well. So it's basically, you watch out for mystery shopping scams in the meantime. So if you're researching the company, watch out for these things because they can really get you if you don't pay attention to the fine print. Now, speaking on my earlier point with Amazon, there's a great browser extension that you can actually download and get the best prices on Amazon and other websites. It's actually called Honey, Honey. And once you install the browser extension, and let's just say that you type in running shoes, it will give you the best prices on a particular running shoe. Maybe it's Adidas, maybe it's Asics, maybe it's Hoka One, or Nike. It will give you the best prices on that particular running shoe or other offers, and you can shop around without going to the stores, spending hours on all the websites, and that would save you money right there as well. And that's called Honey, Honey. Now, with the holidays, we all know we've all gotten the holiday cards with everybody in matching pajamas, matching t-shirts, teams, things like that. Well, let's just say that you're really good at designing t-shirts. There is actually a company called TeePublic, TeePublic, you can design the graphics for a family or just put out some kind of a template and families can buy these things, whether it be a marathon running team, wrestlers, whatever the case may be. Maybe it could be the Joneses and you could make a really awesome graphic tee or sell yourself out for that. But if you're great at designing, go to TeePublic, TeePublic, and they do all the work. You just send in the graphic and sell your items and make a lot of money for that. In addition, there are just so many other things that you can do, and I'm just scratching the surface here, but you can grow your holiday savings by investing in your spare change or everything that you buy. And a good budgeting tool is to actually use the Acorns app and link it to your bank account. The app automatically rounds up your purchases and invests your spare change. And investing for the holidays can be even better than saving, because if your investments do well, your money grows faster than it would be sitting in a bank, and you will actually make money while you sleep. So that is just another budgeting idea to save money. But if you need to be frugal on a budget, there are just so many things that you can do, and there are millions of free holiday budget planners online. And I will link one into the podcast notes to help you further. But I hope that everybody has a wonderful holiday season, and I really hope that some of these things just shed light on the fact that you can budget and you can make extra side money. And this doesn't have to be just during the holiday season, but all year. And again, I only scratch the surface of some of these ideas when there are so many more. And I didn't mean to insult anyone's intelligence if they're already doing half these things, even all of them. I mean, living in LA and New York, it is a gig economy for the most part, especially with the entertainment business. And although we make money, a lot of times we have to wait on our checks because we have to go through agents and managers. So if we were just to get the check that day, that's great. But a lot of us have to hustle on the side. And I actually prefer to do that regardless, because to me, it's a lot of networking opportunities, and everything you do in life, it's a chance to meet somebody. It's a chance to help somebody. It's a chance to network. And every time I do a side job, I always tell myself, I want to take 3 people out of this job, of whether it be lessons I learned, people I helped, or a resource that I can gather for myself to help myself or others grow in many more ways. And I love connecting people. Sometimes I meet someone from this aspect of the business and I can bring them to this person. And I've done a lot of connections, including setting people up for dating and marriages. So I love doing that. And I just love people and learning from people and listening. I've done a better job in my life as a listener versus a talker. And the more you listen and hear people, the better you become and the better conversationalist you can be. So anyway, I hope this shed some light on some great money saving tips for the holidays, because everybody should be able to enjoy, and you only live once, as we've seen. And I am here for you always with anything that you need covered in a podcast, just to help for financial health, fitness, mental health, nutrition, and everything more. So have a wonderful week, and I will see you on the next episode. We appreciate you for listening, and please rate and subscribe to the show on iTunes. You can also listen on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Luminary, TuneIn, or at Believe.com. You can always reach out to me for any questions or topics you'd like covered on the show at Ann McDaniels or at Ann McDaniels Actress. And I will see you next time on Believe, SoCal, Sweat.